How's the Easter bacon, did you say, Steve? That's a little bit better than what we expected. Tottenham match review. Whoa. Doesn't get any easier supporting Newcastle, does it? But today has actually turned out to be a pretty decent day. And I think we can all have a beer on this bank holiday Sunday and enjoy it with a little bit of relief. I'm coming with this review a little bit later in the day than what I would have liked to have done, just because I've been here, there and everywhere today. But I have obviously done this after the Fulham Aston Villa game. So that today has actually turned out to be a pretty good day for us. But can I just say on that Tottenham performance, where the hell has that Newcastle team been in the last 2 or 3 weeks? It's the first thing I thought. We were better in all areas. Let's face it, I think I touched on it in the match preview. It had to be better than the Brighton game, but it had to be considerably better than the Brighton game, not 20 or 30%, and we saw that today. That was a much improved performance. I think that's I read the shots at goal that we had in the box today was the most shots in goal in one match that we've had under Steve Bruce in the whole of his reign. So if that doesn't tell you about how things have improved in that 90 minutes, then, you know, sometimes the stats don't lie. So we're 3 points ahead of Fulham, who I personally believe that defeat to Aston Villa. I don't know whether anyone watched the Fulham Villa game, but Fulham basically bottled it. 1-0 up, things were looking terrible for us. We were going to be in the relegation zone by the end of the weekend. And a very, very poor Aston Villa team, who were pretty much on their summer holidays already, just managed to randomly bang in 3 goals in the last 10 minutes. And they, honestly, if you watch the highlights tonight, Fulham totally bottled it. So I think mentally, the fact that they knew they were about to get out the relegation zone when they were 1-0 up from that Mitrovic goal, had to be him, didn't it? I think that the fact that they threw that away, that could be huge from a psychological point of view going into the next couple of games. But we'll see. So it's turned out to be a decent weekend, but disappointing for me that we didn't get a win today. I don't know how you Newcastle fans feel about that performance, but I feel like we were the better side. We created the better chances. And if Wilson had been on the field, Callum Wilson, we would have won that match today. Main positives to take away from that game. And for once, Newcastle fans, for once, there is quite a few positives to talk about. Feels like so long since I've been able to focus on any positives in a football match. Positives for me, and we give him enough stick, so credit where credit is due. Can we just have an honourable mention to Joe Linton? Yes, he missed a sitter in the second half. We've seen him miss many sitters before, but his overall performance today was by far, for me, his best in a Newcastle shirt. He caused Tottenham loads of problems. He held the ball up quite well. His goal, God, we haven't seen any of them, have we, for years since he signed for us? But his goal was actually a pretty decent finish first time into that bottom corner. And I think that's got to do his confidence some good. And let's face up the facts. We know Joe Linton is not good enough. He's not a £40 million player. He's not a centre forward. We still don't really know what his best position is. But if we're going to give him the stick, as I have, as all you Newcastle fans have for months now, when he does put in a good shift, we have to bite the bullet sometimes, even if we don't like the kid, and say that was a good performance. And today, Joe Linton was really, really good. I think Murphy had a fantastic game today. I saw his stats. I thought he caused Reguilon so many problems down that left-hand side. He was getting at him. He took him on successfully a couple of times. There was a couple of good balls from him whipped into the box. And I just think that chances created, we were just a better team today. And let's call a spade in terms of the team we were playing. Yes, Tottenham have been very up and down recently. They're not in the greatest of form. But Harry Kane and Ndombele, obviously Son came on as a substitute, Lucas Moura. We are playing against world-class players here. And I personally believe that we were a much better team today. So that's what a huge positive. But the individual performances for me of Joe Linton and Murphy were really, really good. Defensively, I thought we were pretty sound, apart from a couple of moments for the goals we conceded, which I'll touch on in a second. But on another day, we could have had a hatful. Gale in the first half, when he had the header, great save by Lloris, but I'm thinking Gale just leather it for the rebound. I know he connected and it was unlucky not to roll under Lloris and not bobble in, but just put your foot through it, son. It would have smashed the back of the net. So that was a great chance. Joe Linton, the chance we had in the second half when he side-footed, he had more time than what he actually what he realised, and he could have just gently rolled that in the bottom corner and he put it wide. There was chances there, but yes, you could argue that Spurs were having a bit of an off day and they weren't really at the races. But we are disappointed that we haven't won the game. And we talked about the fixtures that we have, how there's a couple of categories, I think, for fixtures. We've got the likes of Tottenham, Liverpool, Man City. They are the ones you don't expect much from. Then we've got the Burnleys, the Sheffield Uniteds, the Fulhams. Those are the ones we need to get something from. So the fact we've picked up a point today is a bonus. The fact that Fulham have gone and lost to a very poor Aston Villa team is a bonus. And it's a weird one because now you watch that game and you think, do we have enough to get out of this? And if you'd asked me that after the Brighton game, as I've said on my videos, not a chance in hell. That team is going down. We have a terrible manager. The team isn't playing for him. And then suddenly, international break, we come back and we put in a very, very good performance against a much better team in Tottenham than what Brighton are. So if I'm to base whether I think we're going to stay up off that performance today and also the fact that Fulham had that demoralising loss at Aston Villa, I would say maybe, yeah, we do have enough in the tank. The sooner Wilson is back for us, I think is going to be crucial in whether we stay up or not. Because if he was on the field today, he would have buried the Joe Linton chance in the second half if he was on that. The Gale header in the first half, I believe, there's a very high chance Wilson might have done better with that one. And he's just predatory instincts in the box. That's what we need. If we're going to start creating chances, which was a breath of fresh air today, we need someone to put them away, and Wilson is that man for us. But I thought there was positives all over the pitch. I know Sean Longstaff came in for Hayden. Sean Longstaff would probably admit himself he has been pretty bad for us for the best part of a year. And I thought Longstaff today was pretty solid. Shelvey put the graft in. It wasn't his best performance, but I thought Shelvey ticked away in that midfield. Okay, I know he dropped back a little bit in the second half, almost sitting just in front of the centre-backs to ping balls around. He had a decent game. Almiron was a little bit quiet today, but you know what you get with Almiron, the graft. He never stops working his bollocks off, which is why we like him half the time. And to be totally honest with you, I think the formation change helped us today. The wing-backs, yes, we've known wing-backs in the Benitez era for years and years, and Bruce tried to adopt that when he came in. But I just think for some reason our players look more comfortable playing that formation. It just seems to suit us a little bit more. And that's something that Steve has to think about going into the next couple of games. And I'm sure he set up more defensively deliberately today. Obviously, 3 centre-backs coming in Kraft. I don't know what Clark did to not get in the team, by the way. I thought that was a bit of an odd one, how you would go with Kraft over Clark. Strange. But I think he needs to think about playing this moving forward. As long as he keeps the wingers, the attacking full-backs the same. Richie, I haven't been a huge fan of Richie for 6 months now. I think a lot of Newcastle fans say that they love him, but I believe that some fans are blinded by the fact he's passionate and he likes to shout. Doesn't mean he's a good footballer, and I think he lacks a yard of pace. But again, he grafted hard, and I thought he had a pretty solid game playing there. So there's lots of positives to build on there. What was frustrating for me, for the equalising goal from Kane, why Kraft is not just lacing that out of the box the second it drops, just do it. That was something I was taught as a kid. Any danger areas like that where the ball lands, just clear it. Just get rid of it as quickly as you possibly can. And Kraft's half-hearted attempt to clear it. Obviously, Kane taps it into an empty net. That was frustrating. I thought the defending for the second goal again wasn't great. There was massive gaps when Kane was played in. So there's things to work on there, but overall we were pretty sound. I know Kane hit the post in the second half, but we certainly created the better chances. I was a little bit frustrated at the start of the second half how we dropped a little bit. We didn't push them as much. We didn't press. And then as the second half wore on, we got more and more into the game and we just kept on just chipping away. Maximin came on, didn't do too much in my opinion. I don't think he created, but I think the main thing that we have now from today's performance is hope. And that is something that we have been in dire need of for weeks now because we've had nothing to shout about at all. And there are so many positives. And don't get me wrong, if Fulham had won that game today against Aston Villa, this would probably be a different video because I would be fearing the worst. Going into the relegation zone for the first time in 18 months, what that would do to the players. Fulham play first at the weekend, so if they got a win against Wolves on Friday, we'd be even more in the shit before our game against Burnley. But there's positives there. And Joe Linton, you would like to hope he continues playing like that. I think the formation, as I've just mentioned, should stay the same against Burnley. If we've improved, Steve. Don't then start shuffling again and changing formations. And I think if we can get Wilson back, that game gave me big belief that there's a bit of hope there, as I've just mentioned, and we don't have to fear the worst necessarily, because the players have just proved to us that there is a performance in there. I think after the Brighton game, we all thought that they weren't playing for the manager, but we've seen some positives today. We've seen a hell of a lot of chances created. So let's see whether these players have got something about them to get us out of this, because Fulham, the way Fulham bottled it today, I think we're slightly up on them now, mentally. They play first on Friday against Wolves, so that's a mental thing again. If they win, then we go into the Burnley game massively under pressure to get a win, because we will be in the relegation zone. So we'll see how the weekend pans out. But it was just nice to see us play with a bit of some ideas, good transitions of play, a good press at times. And let's be honest, Spurs were there for the taking, and that's why I'm frustrated tonight that we haven't got 3 points. Sanchez in defence was horrendous. I don't know whether he hasn't played for a long time. I don't know what was wrong with him, but he was terrible. He had a really bad game. But so many positives to focus on. And yes, there were some negatives, as I've already mentioned. The defending for the goals was poor. Our chances in front of goal, we need to be a bit more clinical. I thought maybe even Dubravka could have done a bit better for Kane's second goal, if I'm being totally honest. Substitutions from Steve. I thought Maximin maybe could have came on a bit sooner, but I don't understand this Manquillo substitution. Why does he come on for 10 minutes? I don't know what that offers us. Was he shutting up shop a little bit? Manquillo's not good going forward, so to take Murphy off, one of our best players on the pitch, for Manquillo, was it a defensive-minded substitution to maybe combat Son on the left-hand side? I'm not so sure, but I'm going to enjoy my beers on this bank holiday weekend with a bit of relief there. And that 3-point gap now is looking even more significant going into the next run of fixtures. And I cannot reiterate enough how huge that Burnley game is next Sunday, because these are the sort of fixtures we need to start picking up some points from. Burnley, Sheffield United and Fulham are the 3 matches on our fixture list that are left where we need to look to get at least 7 points from those 9. 7 points from those 9, and I think we are safe. Forget getting battered off Man City if that's going to happen. Liverpool could batter us. Who else do we have? I mean, the fixtures are coming thick and fast, and they aren't easy games at all. But there's definitely some potential there for us to really crack on with this from this game and move on and really just build on it. Our inconsistency. I mean, how that team is capable of putting in a performance like that, but in a huge game against Brighton, we don't even see 10% of that performance. For us as fans, it's so frustrating when we're in this relegation dogfight and all we want is just to see a bit of football played, and we got that today. And we know the lads are capable. I've seen people say that our squad is a championship squad. I totally disagree with that. It's not. Dubravka's a solid goalkeeper. Shelvey gets in a lot of Premier League sides. I know he's a bit hitty-missy, but he does. Isaac Hayden, I know he's out now, but he's a solid defensive midfielder. Maximin, Wilson, Fraser, Almiron. You know, Gale would get in a lot of Premier League teams in the bottom half. We don't have a championship team, and we know that there are players there who are capable, and they've shown that to us today. And it was just refreshing for us all. And we can all now go into the fixtures thinking, well, we're not dreading this game as much now because we actually put on a decent performance against a very, very strong Tottenham team. And the fact that we're disappointed that we haven't picked up 3 points tells the whole story. But let's face it, Fulham lost, we drew, something to build on. That 3-point gap stays there. And I'll be totally honest, when Fulham were 1-0 up, I was driving home and I was absolutely devastated. I was thinking the worst. I think that would have been a psychological blow, huge blow, and Fulham would have just gone onto another level from there with confidence, with everything they would have built on that going into their match on Friday against Wolves. So we live to fight another day, Newcastle fans, and that's the main thing I'm going to take away from today. We have a little bit of hope there with players coming back. Wilson, if he is back for the Burnley game and he gets fighting fit again and scoring them goals and taking our chances, I'm going to totally flip my hopes and beliefs going into the rest of the season, and I think there's a chance we might stay up. And that is only that change in my mind. I'm not being fickle. It's purely based off how today went, how we played well, could have won, but also Fulham, the way they absolutely got ripped apart in that second half from a poor Aston Villa team. So there's a couple of things for us to work on there. Just an awful day as a Newcastle fan, isn't it? So up and down, heart palpitations. We winning, we losing, we drawing, we coming close to scoring, chances created. Fulham are winning, then Fulham are drawing, then Fulham are losing. It's just another up and down day of being a Newcastle fan. But as always, Newcastle fans, get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on today's game. Let me know whether you think we've got now enough to stay up from that performance. Like and subscribe. Like this video. If you haven't subscribed to Black and White Banter yet, please do. I've got lots more things coming. Get us on Facebook and Instagram. I'm posting on there all the time. My subscribers are slowly starting to creep up. And yes, Newcastle fans, let's enjoy our beers this bank holiday weekend. Get our Cadbury's Easter eggs down us, because we live to fight another day.